What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk about the last 10 palettes that I have showcased on my channel. So some palettes that you guys have seen on my channel or you see me haul will not be in here, but these are the last 10 that I have kind of finalized my thoughts. As always, what I'm going to do is just run through, talk about each palette, and then at the end I will take some time to actually rank each palette. If the palette is still available, I will have it linked down below. Otherwise, I will just link you guys to the brand's website. I am not currently affiliated with any of these brands, and none of these palettes have been sent to me. These are all my opinions, 100% untainted. And yeah, other than that, let's just get into it. Okay, I forgot to say I did record this look. This look been up last week. If everything goes according to plan, this will be going up probably Monday or Tuesday next week for me when I'm filming. So I'm just gonna go with the order that it's stacked on here, and then like I said, I will do the rankings. So the first palette I want to talk about today is actually from Adept Cosmetics and the Heather Austin palette. This was my first take on Adept Cosmetics. I had never tried this brand's formula at all. I'd seen a lot of raving reviews, but a lot of their palettes are all shimmer, and that's just not something that I tend to gravitate towards. Even if the shimmers are foiled and beautiful and everybody's raving about them, I just love mattes. Mattes are 100% my favorite part of eyeshadow looks. I just love building my crease and my outer V and all of that. And so because this combined mattes, not only intriguing shades of mattes, but just literally mattes and shimmers, I decided to make the plunge. And I'm really happy that I did. I think this formula is really solid, really good. So there's only 4 mattes in here, but I find that these mattes are really crucial to building looks with all of these variety of shimmers. The greens are really pretty. I really love Mythology. It's not necessarily overly pigmented, but I find that the pigment that you get from it is really pretty. Magnolia is super pigmented. Definitely watch out for that one. Atlas is a decent pigmentation as well. And PaO2 is actually super unique. So in the my 3 Looks 1 palette, I was saying how I wished it was a purple. I was wishing that they had a purple in general just for the looks. And lo and behold, looking in the footage, I see that it actually does pull purple. In person, it didn't seem like it, but definitely in the camera, it definitely pulled purple. And when I continued to kind of test it out a little bit further, I could see how it pulled slightly purple, or it could just pull brown depending on what was around it. So that's super unique. Top of my head, I can't actually remember seeing a matte change like that. I'm sure I have them in my collection. I just can't think of off the top of my head. Either way, it's super nice. There are a variety, I would say about 2 to 3 different formulas of metallics in this actual shimmer formula here. Some that are smoother, some that have a shift to it, and then some that are also shifty and glittery in them as well. Really like it. I don't find that there was any duds in this palette at all, and I would highly recommend it in case you were interested, or you know, you wanted to hear my opinion or somebody else's opinion. I personally would recommend it, and I'm very happy that I put my money towards this palette. So far there has not been another palette that I can think of off the top of my head that I'm really interested in, but I will continue to look out for this brand, and if they do release another product that I am interested in, I will go ahead and pull the trigger. The next, I'm going to kind of talk about these in tandem, as I bought them in tandem, and I also believe I actually more or less reviewed them back to back or kind of at the same time. And these are the 2 Gemini palettes from Melt Cosmetics. So I was able to pick these up not only in the bundle, but then the bundle was discounted on the like original bundle discount. So this is the Gemini 1. So this is the first original palette. You get nice grungy greens, and then you get beautiful brownie neutrals. These brownie neutrals tend to lean more warm yellowy. They're not a neutral brown, which isn't a love for me and like how I love my browns, but I do get a lot of use out of these types of browns, especially this more khaki shade and these grungier greens. You guys know I love those shades. Those are some of my favorite shades, especially this baby right here, which is Mochi. Favorite shade. I'm pretty sure I use that shade particularly in all of my looks. As for the shimmer formula in this particular palette, I actually like it. I don't find that I had any problems with it at all. There are some palettes from Melt Cosmetics that I've tried in the past that are chunky or hard to pick up by a brush. I did not have any problems picking up these at all. And I will say Bonnie is insanely pigmented, so definitely dip into that with a very small pressure or you're gonna get way too much pigment. Overall, I really enjoyed this. I would highly recommend it. It is an older palette though, so I feel like if you wanted to pick it up, you would have already picked it up. But then again, you might have been waiting for a really good sale. This is the year, I feel like, of sales. A lot of brands are really giving us better sales because of inflation. People have normally just stopped buying as much beauty as maybe they would have before, and so the brands need to make up these profits somehow. So they're giving out a lot of sales to get more people to purchase from them. So I would say in general, like, wait for a sale, sis, okay? Because that's more or less what I did for a lot of these. Anyways, the next one that I want to talk about is the Gemini 2 palette. So this was the newer of the 2 palettes and I really enjoyed this. I had thought on camera, so on the pictures, I had seen these kind of pinkier shades swatched and they look more peachy coral than peachy like pink. They're pink, they're rosy pinks, okay? So don't play yourself like I did. If you weren't looking for like a rosy kind of green darkish color scheme, don't pick this up, okay? This is definitely pinks with a splash of some really dark rich greens, but I think overall the formula is really nice in this palette and I have no qualms at all. I know a lot of people, or I know some people were up in arms, if you will, because the 2 shimmers were nice and dark. For me, that works because when I would pick up this palette, I wouldn't want a light shimmer, or if I did, I mean, honestly, you could go into your Gemini or any other palette that you have. So for me, it's not necessarily about having it's not about having everything light to dark, whether it's shimmer or matte. It's just more of if the color scheme speaks to me, and this spoke to me mainly because I thought I was getting peachy shades, but I still love the color scheme and I'm really happy I picked it up overall. And once again, I think this is good melt quality. These 2 though do not present the beautiful foil formula that we saw in their Mara Iposa palette. I do wish that they could kind of bring that to these palettes, but understandably these palettes I believe are made in the USA, whereas that palette was actually made in Italy. So 2 different factories, 2 different formulas probably being able to present. So I would love to see them maybe export these palettes manufacturing out to Italy. That formula of the metallics in the Mara Iposa palette was just top notch for Melt Cosmetics. I'd never seen them present that type of formula and I would love to see it, honestly. I really would. Then we have the Give Me Glow palette. So this is their Pastel Dreams palette. This is the first full-on palette that I decided to pick up. Previously, I had picked up singles here and there and I just could never pull the trigger. Their palettes are extremely expensive and big. As you can see, you get way too much product in these pans. It's just honestly unnecessary. But I decided to pick this up because I wanted to kind of revive or update my pastel palette video recommendations. I know we're getting towards spring. I mean, we're getting towards summer, but spring is still here, and honestly I like to wear pastel shades all year round, so I'm still going to update that video, and whenever it's of interest to you, feel free to watch it. But overall, this is not a love. I'm not mad I picked it up. I think it will be helpful in the review and the roundup, if you will, of pastel shades when it comes to indie brands, but I'm not loving it. There are quite a few of these mattes I just felt were too powdery, so they really weren't sticking to my eyeshadow primers. And the shimmers are pretty, but some of them are just a little chunkier than I was hoping and expecting. Like I said, I've tried some of their singles and the singles are foiled, beautiful. I just am not in love with this palette, and a couple of people did comment on my first impressions video stating that this was not the best formula palette wise. So maybe I will try them again on sale, because I'm pretty sure I actually paid full price for this. I'm not doing that again. But if I were to pick up another palette from this brand, it would be their Witch palette. I really liked that color scheme. It was really beautiful, and it felt super unique. The only reason I didn't pick it up is because the pans are huge and the palette was expensive. So maybe when it goes on sale this holiday season, I'll scoop it up, because Give Me Glow does tend to do holiday sales. I just don't tend to purchase from them because their products, they just come with too much product. Patrick Ta's Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. This is his first volume. I did not pick up the one that actually released this year. I picked up the first volume because I really wanted browns. At this point, I was really enjoying browns, neutrals, and I just wanted to kind of get a couple new fresh palettes that were presenting what I was really enjoying. Let's see if it'll work that way too. I really like this. So the creams are a little bit thicker than I was expecting. I think I was just kind of envisioning them being as thin as the Huda Beauty new nude cream, and this one's a lot thicker, so you definitely will be able to like blank out your eye if you have like eye veins, or if you just prefer a primer that just kind of fully blanks out your eye. Otherwise, the way that I kind of really intend to use these is mainly to clean up the underside of my brow on a full-on like no makeup eyeshadow look, and these will work out really nicely. So overall, I like the formula of the creams. It's just, it was thicker than I was expecting, and so I had to kind of adapt the way that I intend to actually use that formulation. As for the mattes and the shimmers, I don't know what everybody's like complaining about. To me, I enjoy the formula. I know there's this like matte with shimmer that is pointless, but I just use it as any other matte and it works pretty well. I don't find that I have any problem at all. So that's that. As for the shimmers, they are pressed, I would say, quite tight, but I tend to use my finger for a lot of my shimmer application, so it doesn't phase me at all. And yeah, I really like this palette. Definitely not as neutral toned as I thought. This is definitely a warmer neutral eyeshadow palette, but I'm not overly like disappointed or, you know, confuzzled with it. It's just something to note. And if you were looking for this to be more of a neutral brown tone palette like me, just know you're not going to get that. You're definitely going to get that warm tone look, although there are some shades that you could use to create a neutral tone look. I would stick to this brown and the darker brown, although the darker brown is quite warm as well. But if you really wanted to get this palette, or if you have this palette and you wanted to really kind of get a more neutral toned look with that particular palette, that's what I would do. And then honestly, I would really pack on the shimmers. The shimmers are a lot more neutral, honestly, especially if you use this darker bronzy one. That one is going to be a lot more neutral overall, and so you'll be able to like pretend that your look is overall more neutral. I hope this all makes sense. I'm sure it doesn't. I also picked up some singles from Lethal Cosmetics and I put them in this palette, so I figured I'd just review it in like these eyeshadow palette situation. I like the formula. It's not a love, it's a like, you know. Some formulas you love, some formulas you hate. This is just in between. I think it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I know I had like a weird situation when I blended this out on my first impression. It's fine. I don't know if it was my blending that day or if it was, I don't know what it was, but I didn't have any problems after that. Maybe it was just the combination of shades. I don't know. It's fine. There was nothing really special about the shimmers at all. They were shimmers. So yeah, I'm not disappointed, but I'm also not about to run out to buy the rest of the range. But there were some unique shades that I was able to get, unique tones, which I am very excited about. These tones were just really unique for my collection, single or otherwise. So yeah, I'm happy about that. I picked it up. In the future, if there is a release that they have that I am excited to pick up, I will. Right now, just to let you guys know, I did not pick up the blushes, mainly because they were pre-order and I didn't know at that time if I was still going to be at this location, so it didn't make sense for me to pre-order. Of course, now I know that I'm going to be here, so yeah, I don't know. I'll make the decision on that. I still need to go back to see if those items are still pre-order. I just don't like pre-ordering too much because then I get surprised when they come and it's a whole thing. Next is the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. And so I picked this up on a weakness. Okay, I was weak at the point that I made this purchase. I really wanted some, like I said, new neutral palettes. This happened to fit the bill. I was seeing so many beauty gurus come onto YouTube showcasing the palette and it looked beautiful. They were raving about it, and I truly wanted to try his lip oils. Fantastic formula, and I figured I'd throw this in, and I think I might have picked up one or two other things. My problem with this palette is pretty much this whole row doesn't work on me, and then even then these two don't work either. So I have pretty much 4 mattes that I can really see on my complexion. These other ones are purely just going to be like blend out transitions, and even then not really. And the shimmers are nice. The shimmers are a beautiful metallic formula that I've come to love and enjoy from the brand, but it's just the fact that I can't get these mattes to work. I don't know what it is. I just, this is a true on disappointment. The packaging is stellar, beautiful. I love it. It continues to keep up that like beautiful moon situation that I have on all of the palettes that I have from the brand. But okay, all right. Natasha Denona, this is her pastel palette, and this is really pretty. So I know a lot of people were not loving this palette for various reasons. They didn't like what it looks like on darker complexions. I personally enjoyed the palette, not only for what the palette presented, but also for the fact that now I have these shades and I can mix and match. I do have a label maker now, so I will actually be popping these out to make my labels so that I can identify the shades when I move them around. But I think it's really nice. I love the different textures, and honestly the creams in here, the cream to powders, felt different. They felt even creamier to me than some of the other creams. But overall I really did enjoy this palette, and you know, it is what it is. I also am drinking the Natasha Denona Kool-Aid though, so take this one with a grain of salt. I really enjoy it. Is it worth it? That is something that you would have to decide. I can't tell you if any of these products are worth it. I can just tell you if I enjoy them and if I find that I will get the use out of it, or if them just being in my collection is going to be worth it for me. 2 more products to talk about. Next is my Pat McGrath Bridgerton palette. Yes, we're going that far back, and this is what she looks like. I did a duping video of this one and also the second collection, so I will have those down below, as well as any corresponding videos to any of these palettes that I've done, and I'm pretty sure I did at least one video on all of these palettes. I think this is nice. I think this is cute. I like the variety in shades, although these two look deceptively the same on my complexion when I put them on the eye swatches. They are definitely different. I also just am appreciative that you can use these for different products. So I find that this actually works beautifully as a blush, and then this shade and then this shade are really good as highlighters on my complexion. I really like it. I think it's nice. It's cute. Is it worth the price? It's Pat McGrath. Pat McGrath is going to be expensive. I just really wanted to try the new formula, if we're being really honest. I really wanted to try the new formula, and I also really wanted the 2 highlighters. I ended up getting the highlighters. Love those. And so this just kind of made it in the cart. The last product that I want to talk about, I did, I believe, 2 videos on this one, and this is the Odens Eye and Angeschka Nyquist palette, and this is her Hella palette. So this is a really pretty palette. I have tried quite a bit from Odens Eye. I want to say I've got at least 1 product from each of their collections that they've released. I have a lot of products from their collections, and I have their latest collection still on the way. Last time I checked, it was stuck at a local airport, so hopefully it'll get to me eventually. Who knows, but once I get it, I will do my video for you all. That said, this is really nice. You get a variety of textures, both mattes and shimmers or metallics, and then you also get a splash of some dual chromes. This one is a multi-chrome, and this is like a metallic with glitter. I really like the palette overall. I love the color scheme. It's really cute. And yeah, I like it. I really do like it. So there's that. I've kind of run through a quick speed review on all of the eyeshadow palettes. That should have been 10. Did I count correctly though, is the question. All right, so I counted right. This is 10 palettes. What I'm going to do is hop off really quickly. I'm going to put these in the ranking that I think that they deserve, and then I will showcase that ranking when I get back, and then we'll wrap up the video. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, so bottom 5 that we got going on today, we are going to go ahead and start off with number 10, and I'm sure this is coming at no surprise. Number 10 is going to go to the Lunar Beauty Nude Prism palette. This is coming in at number 10 because I can't use the whole palette. It's not going to be worth it for me to have picked this up full price. Maybe had I picked this up half price, I wouldn't feel so strongly about not being able to use the whole top row pretty much as crease shades. So that is highly disappointing. That is why it's at number 10. And I'm also just disappointed because I've tried the brand. I've loved the brand's formula and their eyeshadow pigment and all of that, but I just was highly disappointed, and disappointment definitely weighed in a lot when it came to ranking these individual palettes. Next, for number 9 in the bottom 5 bad products, I guess you will say, is actually the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams. I just was highly disappointed with the binders that were, I felt, lacking in the mattes. It just felt like they just blended off of my eye, and it was really hard for them to adhere to my eye. The shimmers were fine, but once again, they were fine. They weren't revolutionary, and for the price that I paid, once again, full price, it's just not worth it for me personally. If this is something that you saw and you thought it was revolutionary and it works for you, be great. But just for me, in my collection overall, it just was not worth the amount of money that I spent, and I know I'm just not going to get a lot of use out of it in the grand scheme of things, unfortunately. Next, we actually have, so now we're still in the bottom 5, but now we're getting into kind of the lukewarm I like palettes. So this is Lethal Cosmetics. So these are the single shadows that I picked up, and once again, like I said, I like them. I don't love them. I don't find that they're revolutionary to me. I like the matte formula. I like the shimmer formula. It's just not a love. It's not a love, to be quite honest. And, you know, I wish it was a love. I really do. Maybe it was the shades that I picked out. Maybe it was the formulas that I've been combining it with. I try to use a variety of eyeshadow bases, but, you know, who knows? I'd love to hear your opinions. If you have these palettes and you know of a way to kind of make them better or to work with them, let your girl know. I'm fair game to do the work and see if it works better for me. But as of right now, those are definitely the bottom 3. Then coming in for number 7 is actually Pat McGrath Bridgerton 2 or Bridgerton 1. It just wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't earth shattering like I felt like it was going to be, if we're being honest. The new formula, I mean, it's pretty similar to the Astro formula, so why did I pick this up? The world may never know. It just, you know, for the price, once again, for paying full price, you know, it just didn't tick all of the boxes that I felt it was going to tick. And then the last palette, so coming in at number 6, and the last palette in the bottom 5 is actually the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I really do like this palette for what it is, but it's just not providing what these other palettes are providing. Honestly, if we're looking at it overall, the other 5 palettes that are in the top 5 give me a lot more pigmentation, a lot more variety, and they're just, I wouldn't say better, but they're just different. They're different. And so that kind of added into the category. But I will say this is a really good palette. This is definitely not it's okay. This is definitely in the very good category. It's just the lowest in the very good category, if that makes sense. So yeah, Natasha Denona going in number 6. All right, coming in at number 5 is actually the Gemini 2 palette from Milk Cosmetics. No reason other than the fact that I was just disappointed because these shades are a lot more rosy, pinky than I was truly expecting. I was really hoping that these were going to be more peachy based on the swatches, more peachy corally. They did not provide that for me. So that was slightly disappointing, but in the grand scheme of things, beautiful formula, beautiful palette. Really happy I have it, and I do truly think that I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. If nothing else, I love to rearrange my palettes, and Melt Cosmetics palettes you can actually rearrange, as well as Natasha Denona Menagerie Cosmetics. There are a variety of palettes that you can rearrange, and I truly enjoy doing that. And so yeah, at the worst, I get to rearrange those shadows, and I'm really happy about that. Number 4, this is a shocker even to me. I didn't expect this to be number 4, but I feel like this is right, so this is where it's gonna go. And this is actually the Odens Eye and Angeschka Nyquist Hella palette. Now, I really do think this is a good palette. Like I said, the top 6 are very good products. It's just hard to say what is better and what's not. So something had to end up at number 4. And for me, this ended up at number 4 because in this moment right now, I don't feel as attracted to it, and that's super weird. These are providing the shades that I truly enjoy, but there's something about it where it's like, if I had to kind of sit down and create a look with this, I don't think I would feel enjoyment with creating a look with this right now as compared to the 3 palettes that are higher up in this ranking. So that's truly the only reason. Like I said, great formula, great quality. I love the color scheme, but in this current moment, I would not reach for this palette over the 3 palettes that are in the top 3. So that's why I put this here. I believe last time I heard there was still a little bit of stock left, so if you are interested, I would say go for it. And I do believe in my 3 Looks 1 palette, I did compare it to her other collaboration. So once again, I would say check out that video in the event that you are interested and you want to know if one palette is necessary because you have another. I also might have included my other Odens Eye products. I truly don't remember. It's been a couple of months, so I don't remember, but check out down below. Okay, this is the top 3. Take some time. Stop the video, comment down below what order you think the top 3 are in. What I have left is the Heather Austin palette, I have the Patrick Ta palette, and then I have the Melt Cosmetics Gemini 1 palette. So stop the video right now, comment down below in the order that you think they're gonna be for me. And now, without further ado, let's get into it. So coming in at number 3 is actually the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. I really enjoy this palette. I was lusting after this palette for way too long, like a ridiculous amount of time, and I am so happy that I picked it up. Although these are kind of warmer than I was really itching to get at the height of my like I want neutral palettes, I'm so happy I picked this up. I love me some khakis in my crease with some greens to combine. It's the bee's knees. Okay, it's the bee's knees. I really enjoy this color scheme. I really enjoy the formula. I enjoy everything about this palette, and this would be the 3rd most reached for palette I feel like in this stack. So yeah, number 3 goes to Melt Cosmetics Gemini. Number 2, okay, we're getting spicy now. Number 2 is actually gonna go to Patrick Ta. I know, but I just really enjoy this palette, like so much. I love the different texture. I love the uniqueness of it, and I truly enjoy the shimmers. I really don't understand personally the complaints with this formula based on the reviews that I've seen of their 2nd palette. That said, I don't have the 2nd palette. I don't have any real intentions of picking it up anytime soon, maybe in the future, but right now I'm good with what I have. But overall, why isn't this closing? Girl, ain't this some goony? Oh, it doesn't close all the way. Okay, never mind. Yeah, overall I really like it. The mattes are butter blendable. I love it. And this would, I feel like, be the 2nd child, no, this would be the 2nd most reached for palette I feel like in this stack, which is why it came for number 2. And I also just didn't have any complaints, no complaints. So of course this leaves number 1 going to the Heather Austin and Adept Cosmetics palette. I have wanted to reach for this palette so much since my 3 Looks 1 palette, I want to say, and that went up rather recently. But I've wanted to reach for it, and I have. I've reached for Hey Y'all, which is actually a very unique kind of neutrally shade. I love that. So excited. Another kind of unique neutral shade. Love it. 0603, another what? Neutrally shade. Love it. I love these shades. I love these two right here. Beautiful shades. Video chat. This whole palette is just combined a cacophony of beautiful shades, and I have wanted to reach for this palette and I've thought about reaching for it so often that I truly did not think I could say that I would reach for any other palette, or that I have reached for any other palette since having it in my collection over this one. So that is my ranking. I think I did really good. I think I'm very confident in this ranking. I would love to hear what you guys would rank these palettes. If you have these palettes, what you like about them, what you hate about them, let your girl know. Like I said, if you have any tips and tricks about some of these products that I said I didn't like them for one reason or another, let me know, okay? I'm here to listen and learn from you guys just as much as you guys listen to me and learn from me. And maybe the Give Me Glow, maybe I need to use a different primer. I used their primer, but maybe there's another primer in addition to my Natasha Denona. Let me know. Let your girl know. Okay, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will have, of course, like I said, this eye look tutorial linked down below. It is a get ready with me, so it's rather long, but yeah, I will have everything linked down below, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Alrighty guys, I'll see you in my next one, which will probably be soon. Bye guys.